Hello and welcome to my new Old School Ironman series. First off, this is not the account that you'll actually be seeing in my future videos. I decided I wanted to make this series after I had already made a decent amount of progress into my main Ironman. So instead of just giving you a summary of what I did, I would make a new account, give it a bond, put membership on it. That way I can show you exactly what process I went through to get to the point where I am now. So here we are, fresh off Tutorial Island. Let's get started. Our first objective is to head into the castle here and pick up every unique item spawn. It gives us just a little bit of a boost and quite a few of the essential items. So go into the kitchen, fill the jug with water from the sink here. That's actually going to come in handy for a quest we'll do in the near future. After that, head downstairs. I'm going to pick up a pair of leather boots from down here. I like to equip these just to get a little bit of defense during the early stages of the account. There's another jug down here, also a bucket, and a knife. Hardcore Ironman might be interested in this cabbage spawn. It's a decent source of food and you can hop worlds to collect it just to get you through for a little bit. Next up, I'm going to head all the way to the top floor of the castle. It's also a good idea to stop here upstairs and talk with the Duke to start the Rune Mysteries quest, but I'm actually going to do that on my way out of the castle later on. Here in the bank, I'm going to deposit everything except for my tinderbox and my knife. Then I'm going to be picking up these 4 log spawns just north of the bank, and I'm going to burn them. The first goal is to hit 15 fire making, so I'll see you back in a second. Burning the last log here, and there we go. Got our 15 fire making. We can now burn oak logs. We'll get to that in a little bit. Next up, I'm going to stay here and keep picking up these logs. I'm going to fletch these into arrow shafts until I get 1,000 of those. Just finishing up the fletching here. I actually ended up with 1,050, but that's okay. One tip for you is that you can hop between worlds to grab spawns even faster. I'm actually going to take a few logs with me to put them in the bank for some future quests. I deposited everything into the bank and took out the 25 GP you start an account with and that cabbage from earlier. Then, since I am a hardcore on this account, I'm going to go back down into the basement to pick up more cabbages. I'll just hop worlds a few times, that way I don't have to wait for them to respawn. The next goal is to get enough GP for a steel axe. I'm going to head back outside of the castle and then just pickpocket the men out there until I have 270 GP total. I'll be right back. Alright, I have the cash now. You can see from the chat box that I've got up to 7 thieving from that. I'm going to go over here to Bob's to buy the steel axe. It should only cost you 200 coins, so if it's any more than that, go ahead and hop worlds. Just a couple of reminders before our next steps. Be sure that you start the Rune Mysteries and the Restless Ghost quest here in Lumbridge. Here in the swamp south of Lumbridge, I'm killing a rat. You can safe spot this if you use ranged around some of the trees and the pools. I need the meat that these things drop for the Druidic Ritual quest in the future to unlock Herblore. Also, I'm on mobile. I'm going to have quite a few mobile clips here in the beginning just because I was trying to get this content recorded as soon as possible. You can also see in my inventory that I have the emblem for the Rune Mysteries quest. Continuing our adventure to the west, talk to the priest in the house at the far end of the swamp to get the Ghost Speak amulet. I also stole a spade from the hut in the middle of the swamp on the way here. Next up, the Wizard's Tower, down in the basement to give the head wizard the mysterious emblem. He's going to trade us a package to give to Aubrey in Varric. It's going to be a long time before we turn this in though. Here in Draenor Village, I'm going to take 2 pieces of cheese from Aggie's house. Again, I'm just stockpiling items that I need for quests in the future as I pass by them. Just south of the Crafting Guild, on the Hobgoblin Peninsula, I'm grabbing a snapegrass to use in the hangover cure for the Plague City quest that I'm going to do in this episode. Make sure that you have a little bit of run energy before you go in to grab it. The goblins can hit fairly hard, but as long as you're running, you won't die. Apparently I lost a clip here, but I did go ahead and start the Knight Sword quest from the Squire in Falador Castle. I just minigame teleported to Clan Wars and then used the green portal to take myself all the way over to Castle Wars. Now I need to get to Yanil, which means passing by some aggressive ogres. I'm trading with Alec here in the hunting supply shop just to complete that easy Ardoin achievement diary task. Next I'm going to buy a pie dish from the cooking shop just to my north. I need that to make the red berry pie and the Knight's Sword quest. I just completed Monk's Friend to get myself to 13 woodcutting. That's too short of where we need to be. I'm trying to get to 15 so I can chop the 2 oak trees that are right outside here. Guess I'll just chop some normal trees until then. Here's the last log for 15 wood cutting. Now I can chop these 2 oak trees right here. Going to go clean out my inventory first though. I've been here for quite a little bit now, and there's 35 wood cutting. I can now cut teak trees, so that's going to speed up the grind to 50 fire making quite a bit. I've just been chopping these oaks and then burning the logs. You can see that I got all the way to 39 fire making from just this. Starting to hoard some food for the Wintertodt grind, I'm going to be thieving these cakes from the baker stall until 20 thieving. That didn't take too long at all. I'm going to move over to the silk stall just to get some faster leveling and to make some gold. There we go, 25. That's good enough for now. That'll get us up to around 10k cash after we do the sheep herder quest and sell these back to the merchant later. I ran over to do the sea slug quest really fast, since it's a great way to start off your fishing skill, and it really only takes maybe 5 minutes. Another quick tip for you, when you're out here on the fishing platform for this quest, go ahead and catch a shrimp to knock out the achievement diary task. Nice reward of 7k fishing XP takes us all the way to level 24. Back in Artie, I'm going to sell the silk back to the trader here for 60 coins apiece, and that's also going to knock out another task. I'm going to keep selling these to him until I only have 10 left in the bank for future questing. All done. I did forget to mention that I did do the sheep herder quest, so that's where all the extra cash came in. Now I need to stop in and get my own house from the estate agent here, that way I can do the construction grind here in just a few minutes. Before I leave town, I'm going to buy a few more items from the general store just because it has such an amazing stock. All of these items are going to be used in future quests, and I need to get 2 ropes, 5 vials, 30 balls of wool, and 7 papyrus. On my way to the next objective, I'm going to dig up the clue hunter gloves and boots. These are going to count as warm clothing pieces for when I do the Wintertodt. I stopped by Rosalo and bought a Greenman's Ale. That's also for quests later on. Now, since we're here, I'm going to start the Dwarf Cannon, up until the point where we're told to go pick things up from Ice Mountain. We'll do that far in the future. But while we're here, we may as well knock this out. I ran up here to Barbarian Assault and talked to the head person there to unlock the minigame teleport. If you tell him that you're an experienced player, you can actually skip the tutorial. Now I'm just going to run over here to the east and pick up these 4 plank spawns for a while. Again, I'm going to be hopping worlds to make this process go by a lot faster. I want to get around 100 planks to use up in construction. I did 4 trips of planks and ended up with 111 of them. The main idea here is that I want to get construction up a few levels so that when I fix the fire pit in Wintertodt, I'm actually getting a decent XP drop from it. And also, while we're up here, I'm going to start the bar crawl mini quest. Starting the waterfall quest up here as well. I'm going to continue this up until the point where I have to go to the gnome maze. We'll do that later. I went up to the grand tree to buy a few more supplies. I just finished buying 1,000 bronze arrowheads to combine with the shafts that we made at the beginning of the video. I also bought a bunch of stuff from Blurberry, and got him to sign my bar crawl card. Just more stuff towards the questing later on. I'm heading back to Artie right now to do the Plague City, so I need to make the hangover cure with the snape grass I picked up earlier. Already done with Plague City. That's one of the shorter quests in the game if you're already prepared for it. This pretty much skips all the bad levels of the mining skill and boosts us straight to 15. That's going to make the rewards we get from opening the early Wintertodt chest just a little bit better. I used the same trick from earlier in the video to get back to Castle Wars. I have one last fire making grind to do before I can head to Wintertodt. There's a lone teak tree down here southwest of Castle Wars. I need to get 50 fire making from this, so I'm going to be here for a little bit. I'm going to be back on mobile for the rest of this episode, but this should be the last log I need. And there we go, my fire making is all ready to head to Wintertodt. Let's check the stats. You can see that I also got 47 woodcutting from that little session. I say little, but that was probably 3 hours. Just a few things left to do now. That system update that you saw in the last clip really came in handy. I was able to get these nails for the construction I'm about to do without having to hop too many worlds. The 400 steel nails I'll use later, but these 500 bronze nails will be used in just a few minutes. I'm prepping for the final skilling grind before Wintertodt here. In my inventory I have my cash stack, the bronze nails, a hammer, saw, and all but 10 of my planks. I'm going to save those for some quests later on as well. And then I also have the arrow supplies. I'm headed towards Remington right now. I need to use these planks in my house, and the only way to get there is by walking. I am going to stop by Diango to buy a Chronicle and a few charges of the teleport first. Just finished buying 1,000 feathers here from Port Sarim. I'll put the feathers on the shafts as I run the rest of the way to my house. When I finish up making these arrows, I should have 15 fletching. Again, the idea here is the same as why I'm getting ready to train construction. I just want better XP drops for when I use those skills in Wintertodt. Going to use files out here to unnote my planks since it's so cheap. Then, once I'm inside of my house, I'm going to build chairs up until level 4, and then I'll just use the rest of the planks on bookcases since they use up the supplies faster, but still give the same XP per plank. The planks I had managed to get me all the way up to 16 construction. I won't bother using these leftover planks to make another chair since it won't actually get me another level. Aside from these arrows I still have to tip, I'm all done with skill grinds and I'm headed to Karend. I'll finish up making the arrows as I walk the way to the Wintertodt camp. I just started the first of 500 plus games. You can see the stats before killing this boss at all. This is exactly where my main Ironman was at this time as well. And this is my standard inventory for every trip. I usually average around 7 kills per inventory before I have to go back to the bank. I always fletch one log as I'm heading to the fire and then I save another one to fletch on my way back to the roots. It makes the 500 points to get the chest just a little bit easier and it also gives me some fletching XP. There's the first kill complete. I'm going to keep opening these reward chests until I have 200k in the bank. And then I'll just save the rest of them to open later once I've got my gathering skills up a little bit more. Let's see if I can get lucky on this account with the first chest. 19 burnt pages isn't too bad. That's pretty good actually. I am curious just to see how long this whole grind up here took, so let's check with Hans. Like the only time I've ever seen Hans when I'm actually looking for him right away. 10 hours, 53 minutes, so 11 hours of grinding to get to this point. Not bad. 51 fire making, 47 wood cutting, 16 construction, 15 fletching. That's not bad for 11 hours. Alright, that's going to be the end of episode 1 and the end of this account for the time being, until I feel like I want to play a hardcore again. Well, next time you see me, we'll be on my main Ironman account. And hopefully in another week we'll have another episode out. Thanks for watching. Leave any comments you have down below. Help me get better. Help me learn. We'll see you next time.